Codename Kalki. Avataar Born Again. Written by Samir Verma. Chapter 1. Shanghai, China. 2022. In a rainy evening of May, the clock on the wall of Grand luxurious Hotel The Peninsula Shanghai strikes 6:20. A bunch of black-suited heavily breathing members of Central Security Bureau of their Communist Party enters the hotel's reception. A few-minute drill of security checking and ensuring safety for the guests to come. They asked the receptionist to provide them the key to the reserved room. The receptions, after completing all the formalities, gave keys to their crew member. After half an hour of keeping luggage, checking the premises, the supervisor of the team called one of the member on the walkie-talkie, ordering him to ask the guard to bring the car of the guest in front of the hotel gate. Hotel manager, Xi Jiang, along with the supervisor, came to receive the guest, opening the car's gate, greeting them, "Good evening, Mr. President, your room is ready." And without spending much time, they started heading towards the room. The occasion was a meeting organized by the top business organization of China, the Mingjian Group of Industries. The purpose of the meeting was to establish huge skyscrapers on the remaining waste green useless land of Shanghai and some other places of China as well, which will enhance the opportunities of growing companies and other industries in largest city of the country. Qin Jiang, also known as the construction giant and the owner of the Mingjian Industries, was to meet Mr. President. He entered with security surrounded, along with one of his most loyal bodyguard, Chen Ho, who has been guarding the industrialist for around 20 years. At around 8 o'clock, the meeting begins. The hotel was known to hold government meetings as it's best known for security and safety. Coincidentally, in the hall of the hotel, a party was organized at the same time by the hotel management, celebrating the 75 glorious years of serving the citizens and government. Mr. President has to deliver a short speech over the service that the hotel has been providing since almost 8 decades. The meeting shall begin at 8:15. Qin Jiang was getting dressed up in his room, heads towards the meeting hall in the hotel, along with Chen. The other guards were kept outside the meeting hall. Going by the way, they met a bunch of media reporters who were there to catch the president's speech. Mr. Jiang, don't you think you will disturb the natural habitats? Your construction industry has already been charged for damaging the flora and fauna of the country. What you want to say about this? A media reporter asked Qin. That's all rubbish. The land my industry has acquired was all waste. I don't need to answer any question. I am raising business opportunities. That's something Mr. President will decide, spoke Qin while addressing media, and heads towards the meeting hall. The clock strikes 8:15. Mr. President enters the meeting place. A warm greeting from Qin was received by him. Then they started their official conversation without wasting time. I have already said that China will no more suffer any damage on its natural habitats. I have declined the bill several times and still I won't pass it, speaks President. We have been supporting you for 5 years. We have invested so much in the election over you. Now it's payback time. Either you allow us to construct or we will unveil your corrupt face in front of the population. The loan which you have taken from World Bank in their name of space research and launching satellite on Mars. Don't they wanna know where are you spending the amount? Qin speaks. Qin, let's not speak about that. We had a deal. I will your secrets and you will keep mine. The problem with the construction is that the forest you are about to cut, a tribe lives there. They are gaining media attention after your declaration. I can't take any step against the people. President, I don't care about that. I had a multi-billion-dollar deal. Either you ask them to leave the place or else I will burn the whole jungle. Kin. You are a maniac, Kin. President. President sitting on chair, relaxes for a moment. Sipping Chinese herbal tea. In the moment of relaxation, Kin asked Chen to pour some teacup for him. Taking a sip, checking his phone. The only sound can be heard in the room was of the clock ticking and sound of sipping tea by the attendants. Amid the silence, suddenly Kin drops his phone on the ground. Chen, sitting beside him, tries to pick up the phone, which went under the table, as he kept his head under the table. Ta, ta, ta. The thunderous sound of raging bullets pierced the silence of room. In a shocking reaction, Chen pulled his head under the table to see what was happening there, and bang! A perfect headshot at the center of his cranium. Chen shot dead. His head swaying towards left fell on the chair where Kin was showering in his own blood. 16 bullets dug holes in Kin's abdomen and chest areas. The land mafia along with his loyal guard was dead. Since the hall was made soundproof so no one could hear the voice of gunshots, the president's already asked to turn down the cameras of the hall as this was supposed to be the official business meeting. Mr. President, standing still, near his chair, with the drops of his dead accompany's blood, ruining his black tuxedo, dripping down on the ground. He rubs his face with the back of his wrist to clear off the blood stains on his face. Removes magazine from his 9mm varmint rifle. Turns towards the window and runs. Where? Nobody knows. The next morning, Chinese newspapers, news channels, social medias were all showered with the filthy news of unfortunate night. The incident stunned the whole world. Chinese government was trembled. The dragon bites his own tail this time. Restrict the entrance, stop everyone from coming in. Constable, you cover the dead bodies. Don't touch any evidence until Mr. Liang Hong from Ministry of State Security comes in. Orders Police Commissioner. The country posed rule of Vice President Xin Chao. Is that a terrorist attack? Or any sign of terrorist activity? Our president is missing. The top industrialist is found dead at the safest place of capital. The whole world is questioning our security. This is the darkest day in Chinese history. Vice President Xin on the call with Mr. Liang. Everywhere the news of president being kidnapped is spreading. No clue of any activity like this, sir. We found no clue of president even in 500 km around the city. No camera recording found at the meeting. They were just 3 in the hall. The management says it was president's order to not to record anything as this was official. The other leaders of party were asked to enter after 30 minutes of the beginning of meeting. That was completely president's decision. What happened in those 30 minutes is just witnessed by the Lord. The conversation between Liang and Vice President ends on this note. After a little span of time, Commissioner enters the crime scene. The forensics provided him the reports. It was found that the tea which Qin was having had poison mixed in it. So, the industrialist was already dead before the bullets hit him. The bullets which were used had coverings with letters made in Nepal, which means the ammunition was brought from Nepal. But how these weapons were brought to China from Nepal? The murderer was from Nepal as well? What is the connection between Qin and the murderer? And most importantly, where is the president? As Commissioner was going through the reports, suddenly a constable shouted, President ... President. Look, I found him. He is here. Everyone present at the scene ran towards the source of the sound. Media was having full coverage of what was happening. They all gathered near the small storeroom behind their hall stage where President was addressing speech. He was found unconscious, tightly tied with a rope. His shocks were stuffed in his mouth like the cotton in pillow. Everyone was shocked but at least relaxed seeing their president alive and safe. One of the policemen and commissioner took him out of the room. A team of forensic scientists somehow managed to bring him back to the consciousness. Whole country took a breath of relaxation after seeing President. "All right. Are you okay, sir? Are you able to hear me?" Doctor asked President. Yeah. What happened? Why you all are here?" "Have I fainted during speech? Oh. My neck is painful." President replied with gradually opening eyes and looking around the crowd holding his neck, trying to stand on his shaking feet. "How did you get here, sir? Do you remember anything? Who took you here? Who killed them?" Mr. Liang asked. "Killed them? Whom? What are you talking about?" "The only thing I remember is that I was giving speech and had a great meeting with hotel owner, management, and staff. Then I used washroom, and now I am here." President replied. "You had a meeting with Mr. Qin? You were present at the meeting. We should bring Mr. President to hospital. He seemed to be affected by some drug that made him unconscious and he lost his memory." Mr. Liang said. "No, Liang. I am fine and completely in good state and under full control. You tell me what happened to them? What's going around?" President said. Then President was informed about the incident and he was also told that he appeared everywhere after the speech. His security head approves his presence and even that he attended the meeting and was looking all good as ever. But the president was never there. His medical reports showed that his body was left unconscious for around 10 hours. That was the time from the end of the speech till their investigation in the morning. No one knows what happened that night. Who did this if President was not there? Was he a duplicate of him? Or is there something more sinister going around? And most importantly, why he did this? How he did this? Whole incident became a mystery. No clue was found against anyone. It became the most dreadful and mysterious assassination after the U.S. President John F. Kennedy's death in the 22nd of November 1963.